thank you all for being here to the Centerville Business Breakfast. The bell this morning, I want to compliment one of our council members, John Beals. He doesn't like to take credit for anything, but I'm going to give him credit because we now have a bell that can call things to order very quickly at Centerville meetings. And John, we appreciate that for your assistance in recommending that to the Yankee Trace staff here. Again, welcome. It's an honor that all of you are here. We're first going to have breakfast after an invocation, and then we'll get into our program. So thank you very much. And Pastor Mark Daniels, if you'd come up and give the invocation, and then you'll be called to the tables will be called for breakfast.
I like the bell. In my first parish, we had a bell that had been sent to us by a missionary from India. And I don't know if you know this, but Lutherans, they have 3 sacraments: baptism, communion, and potlucks. And so, but it seems as anxious as we are to eat, we're more anxious to talk. So the bell brought people to attention, and then they could pray and eat. So now we're going to pray and eat. Mighty God and King, thank you for the people in the room who have used their brains, their ability, the drive to be one's best, and the willingness to innovate and to try that you have given to them as they have established businesses and created opportunities and improved the life of this community. Bless them with insight and wisdom and the faith to follow where you lead them and lead their businesses. We thank you for the food we're about to eat, and we thank you for the people who prepared it all for us. Use this food and our time together this morning to strengthen us to serve you and our neighbors with dedication and with heart. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. I believe that Kathy and Jason will start the tables, and Kathy's right over here. Kathy and Jason and the rest of the staff, thank you very much for an event well done, as you always do. At this time, when we introduce elected officials and government officials, it always reminds me of President Reagan's famous quote about the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help you." All of us do represent our constituencies, and we do take that very seriously, that we do try to assist where we can. And we have a number of people here who have taken the time to be here this morning, and we very much appreciate that. And I'd like to introduce a couple from the state of Ohio. Sandra Brasington, who's with the Governor Kasich's office, maybe soon to be our next President of the United States. We never know. He had a fairly good night last night. Hoping for a better 2 weeks or a week from yesterday on the primary here in Ohio. Representative Jim Butler, who is our state representative. Jim does a tremendous job for the city of Centerville and the district that he represents. He is always bringing something to the table for consideration, and we had an opportunity to meet with Jim last week, and some of the ideas that he comes up with respect to helping businesses and helping communities is terrific. So we're very fortunate to have Jim as our state representative, and Jim, thank you for being here also. Bob Glazer, Greene County Commissioner. Thank you, Bob. Bob has an opportunity to talk with us quite a bit, and we appreciate that very much, and thank you for being here. Paul Gruner, who is the Montgomery County engineer. Paul, where are you? Paul works very closely with our staff throughout the city and also throughout Montgomery County. Again, thank you for being here. I think Greg Brush, for our county clerk, is also here. Those of us who have an opportunity to work with the clerk of court's office appreciate what a great job Greg does. He really does a nice job with all the internet services that are provided to all of us in the community. If you have a chance to go to his website, there's a lot of really helpful information on there. So, Greg, thank you for being here. Our Washington Township Fire Chief, Bill Gall, is here. As we thank Bill for all the really good work that he's done with the fire department and the good service that the fire department provides for Centerville. Very, very helpful in that regard. Again, Pastor Mark Daniels, thank you for being here. And just very quickly, I just wanted to introduce the members of council who could be here today. John Beals, who I mentioned briefly about the bell. John's up front. John was just recently reelected in November, and he's a great council member. Been really very, very good to work with. John Palcher, who's been on council now for about 2.5 years. John's great business background, lives here in Yankee Trace, and has been, again, also very good to work with. And our newest member of council, Bill Sayre, who works as executive director at Graceworks, was selected to be on council in January, and Bill, really very fortunate to have Bill as member of council. And Bill, thank you for being here today. And I think Belinda Kenley, who's our deputy mayor, she was unable to attend because of a business commitment, as was Joanne Rao and also Mark Engert this morning. So I don't think I missed anyone. Did I miss anyone, elected official here, a representative? Well, thank you all for being here today very much. We have a good council and very good to work with. And just wanted to mention a couple things. First, Kim Ferris from the library, they have a program where they work with businesses. And I just wanted to mention this, that the Washington Centerville Public Library does offer free business research assistance and professional development opportunities at their Washington Centerville Public Library at the Centerville Library. And they have a brown bag lunch and learn, which is the first Wednesday of every month at noon at the Centerville Library. So if you'd like to look into that, it's a nice program that they have. And Kim, I know you're out here somewhere, but if you have any questions, Kim, and the director of that program is also here today. So just briefly, I wanted to mention we're changing the format just slightly on the business breakfast. I'm going to just have a few comments, and then really wanted to turn it over to our city manager, who's going to introduce and have a brief presentation from our department heads about what's going on in the city of Centerville and what you can expect maybe the years to come. So I just wanted to mention briefly that all of us on council and the Centerville staff are very honored that you took the time to be with us today for the business breakfast. And all of us, we have an opportunity to talk about many of the over 700 businesses that are located in Centerville, and we really appreciate the commitment that you make to Centerville by locating your business here, and you do make our community a better community by your business. And with the change in the format, we're basically hoping that as a council and staff that you have an opportunity, or that you take something away from this breakfast that will help with your business, one little bit of information or one person to contact that will help make your business a little bit more successful, or get past a hurdle that you've had over the years at possibly dealing with the city. So with that in mind, I know that as small business owners, I think it's fair to say that you probably went to bed last night thinking about what you had to do today to help your business grow, to keep your employees happy, and how you could get home a little earlier tonight than what you'd like to, or a decent hour tonight. And you probably woke up with those same thoughts. As a small business owner myself, I can tell you I go to bed with those thoughts. They keep me up at night sometimes. They put me to sleep at nights. I appreciate, and I think all of us on council appreciate the commitment that you've made to do that. But those successes that you have is basically what brings you back day in and day out to your business every day. So we know there are no secrets to the success in business. As Colin Powell once said, success is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from your failures. And I know we've all of us here at the table today recognize that failures are an opportunity to build on that towards your success. And even though the language of President Reagan about the 9 most terrifying words, we are trying, and all of the people who are here today are trying to bring economic development tools to the city and to you as your businesses, not only to show you what is available today, but what we're trying to work on in the future. And we realize that the City Council and the city has a responsibility to you not to interfere with your business, but to assist in a way that we responsibly can. And we recognize that it's the city's responsibility to provide a safe environment for you as an employee, for your employer, or resident in Centerville in which to live, in which to operate your business. And our nationally accredited police department. Chief Robertson's going to talk just a couple minutes about some of the programs that were available, or Officer Davis, who will assist you in some of the programs that were available for your business, over and above what you might consider as normal policing services. It's also the city's responsibility to provide well-maintained roads and infrastructure for you to get to work and to make sure the people that are coming to your business are able to get to work in a safe manner. Our Centerville Public Works, they review on an annual basis the infrastructure and needs of the community as far as resurfacing to complete rebuilding of roads, to sidewalks and other bikeways, other aspects of the city's infrastructure to try to help you improve your business or have the opportunity to build your business. And the city also has a unique responsibility to provide top-notch planning and economic development services which assist in the advancement of the city, but if they're done properly and responsibly, they assist in the growth of your business. Our Economic Development Director, Nathan Cahall, will give a couple tools that are available and some of the things that we're working on. And it's also the city's responsibility to let you know some of the benefits that you have by being an employee or an employer or business owner in the city, that from Yankee Trace to Benham's Grove to Stubbs Park, to the many social media avenues that the city makes available for businesses and individuals in the city. And finally, we'll have a short presentation from our Director of Finance, Dr. Henshaw. It's the city's responsibility to keep looking ahead from an economic development standpoint and a financial responsibility standpoint, and not stay stagnant or get behind on on any of those aspects. As an example, you're in Yankee Trace today, and 20 years ago, we kind of joke about this. So many people said it couldn't be done, you couldn't do it, it'd bankrupt the city. Well, this project's turned out to be a $300 million successful venture that provides over $7 million in annual revenues and tax benefits to the schools, the parks, the libraries, city, the county. The cornerstone of Centerville is one that you hear a lot about, but that is also an economic development tool that provides much needed, much improved, and a necessary infrastructure that improvements to the gateway to the city of Centerville from the development along Wilmington Pike. And George Ober's here today, and we appreciate your commitment, George, to first-class development there at Cornerstone. And as you know and have probably heard, there are some political challenges with that development. But I want to assure you that the mayor and the council, we recognize the fiduciary responsibility that you as taxpayers and employers have left us with to protect the city's interest and to do what's in the city's long-term best interest. That will be open, and you're happy to answer any questions about that, but we are confident that the political challenge that is being properly addressed by our staff and the community and in a responsible manner. And as you know, twice the Ohio Supreme Court has agreed with the city of Centerville in that and their approach, and will continue to respond in a responsible manner in that way. Now, we asked what the city would like to have is what you could do with the city, and we want to hear from you. We have 7 council members and a complete staff, and we don't know unless you tell us whether something's wrong or you have a concern. So the many avenues that you have an opportunity that Maureen is going to discuss a little bit later, let us know if you have a problem dealing with the city or a concern or something good happened in your contact with the city. As I say, there's the mayor, there's 6 council members. We'd like to hear both the good and the bad. And like you, we need to know what our customers have had, if they've had a problem, so that we can correct it, or if something's good, that it works properly. So please do not hesitate to call us. We do want to hear from you. So in this crazy political year, which it gets crazier every day, I wanted to close with this one quote about business. And some people regard private enterprise as a predatory tiger to be shot. Others look on it as a cow they can milk. Not enough people see it as a healthy horse pulling a sturdy wagon. And that was Winston Churchill in 1946. And I just want to mention one additional representative that we have here, Mr. Martin from the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission, our new executive director. I think you've been with us about a year now, is that correct? 3 years, okay. Well, John Beals would have known that, but again, I want to thank you very much for all of you for being here today. And at this time, we are honored that you were here and took the time to be here, and I'm going to turn it over to our city manager, so he's going to introduce a couple members of staff. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. Welcome to Yankee Trace. This is the first day of spring. Check your calendars. We call it the first day of spring because Terry Taylor, our superintendent, tells me we mowed fairways today. So at Yankee Trace, that's when spring starts. 200 golfers yesterday, which is phenomenal for March. So if you want to stick around and golf today, Steve Marino will fix you up with some clubs. It's going to be 65 degrees today, so take advantage of it. Wanted to take just a couple of minutes and give you a little update. And as the mayor said, we're handling things differently this year. And we're going to be getting all of our, at least many of our staff members involved to kind of tell you a little bit about their responsibilities and perhaps ways that they can assist you that you may or may not be aware. Wanted to start off by telling you that, as we've mentioned the last few years, we've certainly had some challenges, as many of you have had, obviously, in your businesses. I think we are getting through those challenges. We're starting to see certainly some light at the end of the tunnel. We're not recession-proof at this point, but the community barometer, I think, is definitely looking up. Our business inquiries, which is one of our gauges, and you'll hear more about that from Nathan Cahall, our business inquiries are definitely up. We're having more developers, more potential owners coming in talking about projects, bringing them to the planning stages, et cetera. So you can see that momentum every day. We have over $100 million of projects in our community now that we feel very confident about that are on the drawing board at some stage or another, everywhere from ready, shovel ready to conceptual design. But again, that's probably the most significant amount of construction that we've had in the pipeline at any one time in several years. You've heard, as the mayor mentioned, the cornerstone of Centerville, and you'll continue to hear about that and the positive things that are happening there with the Cabela's opening on April 7th. The Kroger Marketplace plans were recently approved, and they should be breaking ground very shortly. Wright Pack Credit Union will be opening soon. Cheddar's is under construction, the first one in our region for a summer opening. Just down the street on Wilmington Pike on the west side, across from the Sugar Creek Plaza Kroger, is a new K through 8 Montessori school, Creative World, and that's going to be a welcome addition to the community. Randall Residence, which is approximately a $30 million venture for assisted living and independent living, and also some medical components at Paragon, Sheehan, and Social, is still on the drawing board, but getting closer every month to a startup. The Grove at Yankee Trace is a new 27-home single-family development just west of Paragon, between Paragon and Yankee Trace Drive, that we're told will be breaking ground here in the next week or so. Two other major residential projects that are on the drawing boards at various stages. One is the Allure, which is the redevelopment of the Showcase Cinema property. It's about a 15-acre parcel there along I-675. And the other one that council will be hearing about just in the next week or so is involved with Cornerstone Development, and that's the Fortis Group. And that's a large multifamily residential development that will be on the northern part of Cornerstone, just south of Brown Road. So again, all of those projects are coming forward now at one stage or another. Nathan Cahall is our Economic Development Administrator. Nathan's going to start things off today. Nathan is an individual that if you don't know, you should really get to know him. He is there as a resource for you. He has a vast amount of information on county and state and regional programs, and he's going to share several of those opportunities with you today. So, Nathan, I'll turn it over to you. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. As Greg said, there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of opportunities, and as business owners and business managers, we encourage you to keep in contact with us, the city, to see how we can help you, and you can help us at the same time. So, in terms of the city of Centerville, our community, we're a pretty diverse community in terms of we have close to 700 businesses here, believe it or not, here in the city of Centerville. It's a diverse mix of business types and sizes. We have a majority of our business clientele are small to medium-sized businesses, although we have very large institutional employers such as Miami Valley Hospital South, Graceworks, and others. But we also have some key community assets that make this a very attractive business community for investment. Number one is our school district. As employers have learned that recruiting, training, and retaining talent is by far one of the more important things you do as an employer, and having your business in a community with great schools that's attractive to your employees makes the hiring and retention process so much easier. We have a very well-educated workforce here in the community. which is a shining light here in the Dayton area. And we're strategically located. We're right along the I-675 corridor, which in the Dayton region is the new Main Street. We're close to Wright Pat, but we're also within easy commuting distance to northern Cincinnati and places both south and east. But as you see here, this is one of the things, and this is what we work so hard, is that we want to celebrate business owners that are investing in our community. Here, there's our former mayor, Mark Kingseed, there at a ribbon cutting for a new restaurant here in town. But that is our goal. It's great to see the big headlines of a Foo Yow or a new major development, 100,000 square feet of this and 100,000 square feet of that. But this is our goal and some of our happier moments here in the city. And this is our Kroger clinic there that opened early last year. And, this doesn't seem like a lot, but you have to realize is that for job growth and economic development, 85–90% of job creation starts with folks like you here in the room, existing businesses. It's not the big, 500 employees coming to Caterpillar or anything else. It's the 5 or 6 new nurses the hospital may hire. It's 4 or 5 new associates at Adelon Industries. It's the little wins that make all the difference. And we have really 4 major programs, initiatives here in the city. We'll start first with our Business First program. Business First, and Eric Collins here and Michael Norton-Smith from Montgomery County, is a network of more than 100 resource partners here in the Dayton region, whose sole goal is to assist businesses in finding help from everything from workforce development to I want to provide my employees a healthcare and retirement plan. I need some executive development of some of my staff members. To the classic things you think about of I need to find a building, I need to renovate, I have an expansion program or like. And the great thing about this program is that it puts you in connection with almost 100 resource partners, and their services are free. So that's a big bang for your buck here in the Dayton area. And I'll give credit to Mr. Collins and Montgomery County. This is a nationally recognized program of economic development cooperation across local, state, and federal boundaries. We also in Montgomery County have the EDGE program. You see this a couple times a year. The Montgomery County Commissioners set aside a certain amount of tax dollars every year for strategic investment in the region for economic development purposes. And they focus on the retention and creation of new jobs within targeted sectors. Projects need to have a major economic impact. And the like. So you see these, and Edge Assistance is everything, and we see it as a wide variety of types of projects, from very large projects that, you obviously see in the papers, to smaller projects that may be 10, 15 new jobs, but if they're in the targeted sectors that the county sees investment as being strategically important. One of our bigger programs here is our Property Investment Reimbursement Grant Program, our PIR. They're meant to attract new employers here to the city and also assist existing companies in retaining jobs and also expanding their workforce. And the grant is really easy. It just is based on a percentage of new payroll that you create that then is reimbursed back to the company to be used for one-time business expenses like moving, business disruption, training of employees. We've had companies that have used that because they might have a Department of Labor grant for some incumbent worker training, and there's a little bit of a match that's come from the company. This is where those dollars come from. And the good thing about this incentive is that it's not based on past performance, but on the performance of the business. So it's a very prudent way to manage taxpayer dollars in the business and economic development investment realm, in that it's not speculative, it's based on the performance of the company. And finally, one of our emerging and I think most powerful economic development tools, especially as we build out as a community and have to focus more and more on reinvestment, is our Community Reinvestment Area Program, our CRA. It's a tax abatement program that has attracted a lot of interest, not only for new development, but also redevelopment, whether it's the new McDonald's on 48, or where Jimmy John's is here in the community, the daycare my kids go to down there at Yankee and Social Row. All across the city, this program has garnered a lot of attention. And it provides a 100% property tax abatement on the new values that you create on the property. So you take a property that's a vacant piece of land, you build something on it, you build your business, locate your employees there and the like. Under that program, for the next 15 years, the county auditor will pretend it's still a vacant piece of land. You won't pay property taxes on any of the improved value. Also works for building expansions and the like. The abatement runs with those values of those improvements. Very powerful economic development tool, and I think really it has tipped the scale, I think, in Centerville's favor on many programs and many projects, in that the investment is coming here to our community and isn't going just to the next interstate intersection down the road in some soybean field far away. But around the community, as Greg said and the mayor said, you see a lot of development here. New construction starts. That's our Montessori School on Wilmington Pike. This was a great CRA project, a infill, the last office condo development there at the Clio and Alex Bell and that medical office campus. But for 2016, what do we expect? In 2015, we witnessed robust development here in our community. We had construction valuation and new construction starts upwards of 35–40% above historical trends here in our community, but we also see not only the expansion of new things like a Cabela's, like a Costco, like a Kroger Marketplace, a Cornerstone, but the reinvestment and redevelopment in the core of our community. And we also see a continued growth of the job market in numerous areas in Centerville. We've helped many companies not only expand but also retain significant amounts of employment base here in our community through our PIR grants and the like. And we see a moderate, steady growth of the job market here in the city of Centerville. And I think really one of the amazing things here of our community, you may not realize it, but we try the best we can, and City Council has been very conservative and prudent in their financial management here of the city. But the city runs on a very low 1.75% income tax, in the goal of creating a very attractive business climate here for our businesses here in the city, and with a property tax rate that is the second lowest in Montgomery County for municipal services. And that really is a key factor here in our community. And the city of Centerville is, with that said, is still committed with those revenue baselines to providing first-rate services and a welcoming environment here for our businesses. Once again, would like to thank you for coming today. I'll hand it back over to the city manager for the next presentation.
Thank you, Nathan. Appreciate that. Again, Nathan will be around afterwards if any of you have questions. I also wanted to introduce Andrew Rodney. Andrew, if you would stand up, please. Andrew is our city planner. Both of these individuals work very closely together. Again, if you need variances, if you need issues regarding signage, if you need new development plans, Andrew Rodney is the person you need to speak to, our city planner. Again, Nathan can help you with an array of business-type programs that he's just gone through. I'd like Doug Spittler to come up if he would. Doug is our Public Works Director. Doug's going to take just a couple of minutes and give you an idea of some of the major roadway projects that are underway in the community and you'll be seeing taking place here in the next several months. Doug? Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. Just real quickly, Public Works Department at City of Centerville, probably most of you know that. We provide the engineering services, street maintenance, refuse, recycle collection, and also vehicle maintenance. I would like to point out a couple of folks that you may contact if you contact Public Works. They're here today. Jim Brenniger, if you would stand. He was formerly with the City of Dayton for 25 years. We're very glad to have Jim in our city engineer capacity. Mary Lou Pence, our operations manager. She's been with the City of Centerville for 25 years. A lot of you may have already had interaction with Mary Lou. Mary Lou provides a lot of our routine maintenance contracts. She also does our permitting, so if you're getting a street permit in the City of Centerville, Mary Lou will help you. Jim takes care of most of our plan review and project management, so if you call Public Works, you're very likely going to get one of us three to help you out. As Mr. Horn mentioned, we do have some very large projects coming about in the city. Give you a quick update on those. We like to think of spring as when the orange barrels come out, not just when the fairways get mowed. So here's where they're going to be. In cooperation with Mr. Gruner's office and through a grant from Brian Martin and MVRPC, we received money for Yankee Street improvement. It's right behind us here. Within the next 30 days, we anticipate a minor widening project on Yankee Street to 3 lanes. It'll start at Social Row Road, and it'll go up to Winding Green Way, which is about halfway up to Spring Valley Road. North Main Street, most of you have seen the work on North Main Street that currently has a water line improvement project that's just completed. Also, Vectron did some work, and that's all anticipation for a resurfacing project through the Ohio Department of Transportation. That project bids late spring. We anticipate construction towards the end of the summer into the fall. That'll be a complete resurfacing on North Main Street from Franklin Street all the way up to Alex Bell Road. East Franklin Street will also see some work in front of the high school this year. There will be a water main replacement project in front of the high school from South Johanna up to around Glencroft. There was also a little gas line work on East Franklin Street. And again, that's all in preparation for a resurfacing project next year on East Franklin Street from Main Street down to Clio Road. We have another phase of Wilmington Pike improvements starting in the next 30 to 45 days. Be from the I-675 interchange up to Brown Road, include widening up around the Brown Road area, also including widening on Whip Road area and south of Whip Road on the west side of Wilmington Pike. The project's currently out for bids. As I mentioned, next 30 to 45 days, we would anticipate the construction to start. A little bit of a change this year is we are maintaining 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, so that'll help with the backups that we saw last year under the interchange. That project, it's a significant project for the city and where a lot of development's occurring. And then lastly, I'd like to mention on Wilmington Pike, we do have a project that is just in the planning stages right now, early design stages for a comprehensive traffic signal upgrade or rebuild project. Includes 12 traffic signals from State Route 725 up to the new signal at Dilley, also including the 2 signals on Feedwire Road. Again, that was through federal funding through MVRPC. That project is anticipated to start in 2018, but it will include some complete rebuilds, partial rebuilds, and an interconnection system that helps the traffic signals talk to each other better in that corridor. So once we get done with the improvements, the widening improvements, we'll have a comprehensive traffic signal program to help ease the traffic congestion in that area. So I appreciate your time this morning. Again, please contact us with any questions. We do try to put updates in our town crier on our website, but we're available anytime for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Police Chief Robertson, if you would come up, please. Officer John Davis, we're very proud of our police department. We hope that you utilize their services extensively. They offer an array of programs that, quite frankly, are very unusual for a community of our size. Just wanted to mention one quick item. This past week, we had the United States State Department come in with a group of law enforcement officials from Brazil to show them how community policing works, and we were very pleased and honored that Centerville was one of the host communities. It was also interesting that we have a very new officer that currently is going through the High State Patrol Academy that had lived in Brazil for a number of years, received part of their education in Brazil, and is fluent in Portuguese. So when we hired this individual, we didn't know if Portuguese would ever come in handy, but it obviously came in handy about their first week of employment. So our department is very diversified in their skill set. And again, I'd like to have Chief Robertson and Officer Davis explain to you some of the offerings that we have. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. I think the most important thing I can say before I turn it over to John Davis is you make our job easy. The community makes our job easy. It's your support and the partnerships that we develop with the business community and the people who live and work here in the city make it easy for us to keep everyone safe and to keep the community safe. The mayor, city council, Mr. Horn, and other elected officials in the room make sure we have what we need. And we work in very close partnership with many of you. In June, we'll be at Miami Valley Hospital South to hold our quarterly department meeting. So they're familiar with who we are. We're familiar with them, their operations. When the shooting happened in Madison, Dr. Henderson and I have each other's cell phone numbers. We're instantly on the phone within minutes of that happening, discussing how that could impact Centerville schools. St. Leonard's, Bethany, we work with them on their disaster plans, facility security, and we need to continue those partnerships, to nurture those partnerships. It's very important. The bad news is identity theft is up. That impacts you as business people. Fraud is up. That impacts you as business people. And violence in the workplace is at the forefront. And we offer programs to help you with all of those things. It's important you take advantage of that. I mentioned the large employers, but as Nathan said, many of you are mom and pop shops. We need to work in partnership with you to stop those things and help you with the issues you face. And so I've brought our Community Relation Officer, John Davis, who's just going to spend a few minutes explaining some of the programs available to you. John?
Thanks, Chief. I know many of you in the room. I've had the pleasure of working with a lot of you. To piggyback off what Mr. Horn was talking about, the Brazilian delegation that came to us, to put that in perspective, the State Department has an international leadership program, and they bring in these executives from other countries to learn how we do police work. The other places they had been was Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Dallas, and Centerville. I'm kind of tooting our own horn here, but we really have become widely known, at least in this region, as kind of the go-to agency for community policing, and many of the programs that we have brought us to that point. I didn't realize just how good we had it until you really start looking at some of the areas that don't have what we do. And it was really interesting. They were so impressed with the relationships that we had with businesses and the programs that we had, that we incorporated the local businesses into those programs. But the really funny part was when they were so shocked at how we worked with what they called the politicians, because they apparently don't have that relationship there. And one of the things that most of you don't realize is that my position as a community relations officer is a council-approved position. So the council recognizes the importance of my position and the fact that we need to reach out and provide you the things you need. So that position was added to our authorized manpower so that I could go out and do that work. We have a lot of programs, and I don't have nearly enough time to go through it. You wouldn't want to hear all of them. But one of the things they wanted me to touch base with you about today is our active shooter or active threat training that we provide. All of you looking at the bottom line, the price is right. We provide it free of charge. I will either come to your business, or I've talked to the chief and he's authorized me to open up our training center to have maybe a group session for some of the smaller businesses that might not be able to support that. We can actually have it at our place. It's an unfortunate reality of the world we live in. This violence is everywhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be terrorism. It could be a disgruntled employee. It could be a domestic situation. We saw that a week or so ago in Dayton, where the gentleman killed his brother in a church. Madison High School, we still don't know the details there, but it can happen right here. And that's something that I'm always fighting complacency. We can't sit out here and think you're more likely to be struck by lightning than you are to be involved in an active shooter, but I can't tell you those chances are zero. So we need to prepare ourselves. The program we offer is about an hour long. It's really about awareness and options as to what you should do, because if you've never thought about it before it happens, once it does happen, it's too late. You can't go find that later. So please reach out to me for any type of program that you might need, any questions. There's no question too small. I would much rather you call me and get the right answer than to come up with one that you might have seen on TV, because they're not right. So, but that's all I have.
Thank you.
Right.
Chief Gall, would you come up, please? Thank you, gentlemen. Again, I can't reiterate enough. If you have a need, if you have an issue, a question, contact our police department. They are truly there to serve you, regardless of how small you think the issue may be. Chief Gall is the chief for the Washington Township Fire Department. They provide very quality EMS and fire service to the vast majority of Centerville, all of the Montgomery County portions of Centerville. And I've asked Chief Gall to give you a quick update on some of their programs. Chief?
Thank you, sir. Good morning. How is everyone? I was told to be quick. I'd like to thank Nathan for taking up most of the time. Honestly, it was really important, and as a business breakfast for the community, what Nathan talked about was what you needed to hear in those type of things. The fire and police and the services have always kind of been the afterthought of the community. We're there when you need us. We're the insurance plan in case things go wrong or things go bad. But it has changed over the years, and it's turned into something much, much more than that. As you heard from the police who just talked on all the programs and the things that they do, fire has also grown into that, where we have a lot of community programs now. And I'll mention just a couple because I have to be quick. But the one thing I'll say is, if you've experienced the fire department, hopefully, It was you saw an ambulance going down the road and you pulled over, or an engine going down the road and you got out of the way. God forbid you needed to use the services for EMS or for fire because you personally had something go wrong at your business or at your home. But hopefully if that did happen, everybody was very professional and they did a good job. If not, please, I'm right back there, see me after this. I would like to know about that. As the mayor said, we want to know the good things and the bad things that happen all of the time. But one of the necessary evils, and that's not a great way to put it, of the fire services, you've probably witnessed the fire department as business owners. They come out and they do fire code inspections in your businesses. And hopefully all the one-on-ones have been very professional and done well. But that does protect you. It does protect the community, it does protect your business, and it does protect your patrons and your clients that do come into your business. It may not be at the most appropriate time. It may be when you're busiest or you have a sale going on or you're on the phone, and they'll always come back, have no problem telling them, not now. And they will go away and come back. But hopefully they've assisted you and helped you. We're there to work with you, not to find things wrong. That's not what we're looking for. But we're looking for things to keep you safe and to protect you and your business. Some of the programs at the fire department that we do run is CPR programs monthly. We have CPR programs that we provide for the community. Those are so important. I cannot stress that enough. Because when the people come in on the ambulance and when the 911 call is made and everyone is standing in the family in the front living room or in the kitchen and say the grandma's down that hallway or grandpa's down this hallway and absolutely nothing has been done since the phone call to 911 for that person, chances are there's not a lot that we're going to save or do. It's what you do early on and how you act and what you know to help them, to keep them in a position where when we get there, all those fancy tools and equipments and things that we use, we'll be able to give them a fighting chance. So we have a very aggressive CPR program. We have an Explorers program that we're very proud of. If you have a child that's the age of 12 to 18 and they are looking for a career, you need to push them into a career, have them come talk to someone at the fire department. See if they would like to join the Explorers program. It's a great opportunity for them to have hands-on, and there is a lot of money out there for grants to Sinclair and different fire programs that they can start while they're still in high school, earn the credits so that when they graduate from high school, they're already way ahead of the curve of everyone graduating ahead with them so that they have fire and EMS experience in that field, or even in the police field. They have programs for the police also. We have home inspection program. If you live in Centerville, Washington Township, just call us. We'll come out and we'll inspect your home for smoke detectors, CO detectors. We'll help you with an escape plan and getting out of your home. There are many people that die every year in the United States in home fires. And not normally because of the fire, but because of the smoke and the bad things that are in the air. So don't be afraid to call the fire department. We'll come out and we'll work with you on exit plans and home safety plans. I talked about the CPR. We have a Knox box program for the community. If you own a business, you probably know that there's Knox boxes around the community, which puts a key to the different businesses in that box, in a pillar outside that business, so that when the fire department gets there, they can open that, and rather than break the door down, bust the window, or do damage to the structure, we get the key out of the box. If time permits, we go into the business and we resolve the problem, and we take care of it that way, and it causes less damage. We also have those for homes, so that if you have an elderly person, your grandma, your grandpa, your mom and dad, and they can't get to the door, we'll help you provide that lock system for them at their house. And we also have a Project Lifesaver that we work with dementia and Alzheimer's people, where we'll come out and we'll put a bracelet on someone. It's a tracking device in case they wander off or they get lost. So we'll be able to help find them in a very short period of time so they remain healthy and they are safe. And I know you can get after me, Nathan. I took more time than I should have, but those are some of the programs the fire department does offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. You're welcome. And the Chief will remain around as well if you have additional questions. For the sake of time, I'm going to just make some quick introductions. Wanted to introduce Jennifer Wilder. Where's Jennifer? Jennifer, if you please stand up and be recognized. Jennifer is our HR manager, summer employment opportunities, part-time employment opportunities, children, family members, etc. Jennifer is located at the municipal building. One of Jennifer's other duties is also to oversee the Yankee Trace operations. We have, I believe, all three managers here today. I wanted to have Steve Marino stand up and be recognized. Steve is our head golf professional, certified PGA instructor. Any issues you have with Yankee Trace from a standpoint of golf outings, corporate outings, lessons, etc., Steve is the gentleman to see, and he'll be staying around this morning as well. Terry Taylor, our golf superintendent. Terry, Terry has been here since the beginning, does an outstanding job. Our course generally is ranked #1 public course in the region every year, in large part to Terry and his staff's duties and the care that they give Yankee Trace. Jason Pyrie. Jason is our food and beverage director. Jason is here as well to talk to you today regarding any corporate needs. I wanted to introduce Kristen Gottman from our staff. Kristen oversees our Benhams Grove operations. Just like Yankee Trace, just like Benhams Grove, if you're having business events there, you're entitled to discounts. We have special offerings that we make available for our Centerville businesses. So again, whether it's a Yankee Trace need or a Benhams Grove need, please see Kristen or Steve. Kristen also oversees the farmers market that starts May 19th. It's located down on 48 in front of the Club 55. So again, a great opportunity to, or is it Neo Fitness? Club 51? All right, I got that right. Club 51, second time around. But if you want to be involved in that farmers market, some of the businesses are. Again, see Kristen for that. She also oversees the summer concert series. Many of you are sponsors for that. It's a great series of concerts every Sunday evening at Stubbs Park, and she'll help you with any interest you have in that as well. Lastly, Dr. Henshaw. Dr. Henshaw is our Director of Finance. He is really responsible for the flawless audits that we've had for a number of years, the recognition from the State Auditor's Office, does an outstanding job, oversees all areas of finance here. So many times you may have issues regarding income tax processing. Again, Dr. Henshaw oversees that, so he can either address your needs or make sure that you're in touch with the proper individuals there. Any particular questions, Dr. Henshaw will be staying afterwards today as well. And finally, Maureen Russell Hodgson. Maureen, if you would come up. Maureen is our public information officer, handles the volunteer programs for the city. We have approximately 200 volunteers involved in all areas of the city. And another area that Maureen is responsible for is assisting the mayor with our Centerville business reports, our cable television shows that many of you have been on. And she also handles our social media. And I wanted her to take a couple of minutes and explain the different social media type of tools that we have available and some of the promotional tools we have available to assist you all. Maureen?
Good morning. I know you're all in a rush here, so I'll go through this quickly, but I would like to call your attention to the form on your table that looks like this. If you haven't seen it yet, you probably have a handy-dandy Yankee Trace pencil with it, but this really gives you an opportunity to know more about communication ways that we have to reach out. We want to stay connected with our businesses and our citizens. And just to review those really quickly, you should all be receiving the Town Crier. In fact, the new issue should be in your mailbox, if not already, in the next day or so. But we are launching some additional electronic ways to reach you. And one new way is called Centerville Connections. So we're going to launch that April 1. If you are interested in receiving that, please put your name and email address on the form that you see. You also see that we have Centerville Commerce. If you're not receiving that, please give us your email address. Anything that we have, any electronic newsletters, if you give us your email address, we'll make it very simple for you, and we'll go ahead and register for you those. We have Cornerstone Connections, the Arts Commission newsletter, and Yankee Trace newsletter. Also, we are social. We hope that you are social with us. We have our website is centervilleohio.gov. We are on Facebook. In fact, we have 4 Facebook pages: the City of Centerville, the Golf Club at Yankee Trace, Farmers Market, and Benhams Grove. We're also on Twitter, and we have a YouTube channel. If you are interested in being featured on our mayor's program called Centerville Business Today, please make a note on that page, and we will be sure to contact you. The mayor is taping the show twice a month. You'll have at least 2 weeks of airtime on Time Warner Channel 5, as well as, again, on our website, YouTube channel, and Facebook page. We also have several other ways for you to appear on Centerville Reports Today, which is a show that we tape at Miami Valley Communications Council. You're welcome to come on that. And again, our shows are 15 minutes. We try to make it pretty painless. Our mayor comes in, he'll meet with you, We do the interview, and then we'll get some B-roll. In fact, right now we have Crest Realty, and I think we have some representatives from Crest Realty here today, and he also was at Chick-fil-A, and we've been at St. Leonard as well, so just recently. If you have any questions or comments about today or the city, we also ask that you list that on the paper as well, and we'll make sure that we get in contact with you. I'll also be around afterwards if you'd like to talk to me about Centerville Business Today, Centerville Reports Today, or any other communications opportunities that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Maureen, and thank everyone for participating today. I just wanted to wrap up. I wanted to announce that next year we're going to start the breakfast at 6 a.m. And we'll be out by 10. So it was a little bit different format, so we tried to get a lot of information in today. I did want to mention just a couple additional people, in particular, Brian Martin from MVRPC plays a crucial role in all the transportation aspects in here, and I know that Doug mentioned that with Yankee, but that's very crucial relationship that we have, and you don't hear a lot about MVRPC, but they are absolutely a very important player in our community. And Brian, thank you for being here this morning. Also, I wanted to just a couple additional people that we work with through the city, and very proud of that relationship. And Tom Henderson, I know, is here as the superintendent of the schools. And Tom, we appreciate you being here today. And if there is a snow day, Tom is always willing to take your calls as to how you feel, whether the school should be open or closed. So feel free. Tom, you'll leave your number up front with everyone. I feel confident of that. From the park districts, new park director. Short of the time that Brian had been here from MVRPC, and Arnie Biondo from the Park District. I think he's been here now, what, 1 week, Arnie? Is that 1 year? He's been here for a while. Also, I'd like to mention Kim, we mentioned just briefly from the library, Kim Ferris, the director of the library. We also have one additional person in the city of Centerville. All of you probably had an opportunity to work at some time with Debbie James. She left to move to Indianapolis with her husband. Karen, if you wouldn't mind standing up. Karen Enders is our new clerk of council. She's doing a terrific job. She's been on board 3 weeks, and she has not turned in her resignation yet, so we're pleased with that. I do want to thank all of you for being here. I know we went a little bit longer today. As Maureen said, if you have some interest in the social media and you don't have time to fill out, throw your card in the middle and we'll enter it on the different websites that you have the opportunity to get information from. Again, it's an honor that all of you did stick around a little bit longer than you were probably able to, and it's an honor that you will be here. We are very pleased that you participate in the city of Centerville from a business perspective. You do make our community much better by your involvement. So thank you very much, and look forward to your contact through us, all the different opportunities, and success in your business. Thank you again.